Hi, everyone. Henry DeVries from Agency Rainmaker TV. This is the TV show where we help agency owners make it rain with right fit prospects and getting right fit prospects into their dry, dusty sales pipeline. And I have an expert, one of my favorite experts on how to fill a dry, dusty pipeline with right fit prospects, Hannah Roth. Hannah, how are you today?
I am doing well, Henry. How are you?
Very fine. Tell us about your position as a marketing scientist at Predictive ROI, please.
Yes. Well, as you know, my official title is Director of Strategy and Mad Scientist. And the reason that that is my official title is because I do have a data science background. So basically, my role at Predictive is to help agency owners in the sales process, help them, basically from finding the right fits all the way to closing the right fits, continuing work with the right fits, and then, on to retention. And I do that through a variety of frameworks that have been designed based on scientific principles and psychology and psychological behaviors. And then also we do a lot of data analysis at Predictive. So I kind of head all of that up, and then any kind of experiments that we do, whether it's communication, email marketing or anything like that. I'm kind of the head of the predictive lab, if you will. So.
And I'm a satisfied client. Uh, um, let's talk about um, predictive ROI and your specialized niche. Your authority is in a certain area. You're dripping with authority power. Um, so tell us about that niche.
Yeah, so Henry, you obviously know our gospel is that there's riches and niches. So we always started, with this mindset of we want to serve people in the best possible way, and for us, that really means going narrow. And we, run an agency. Stephen, our CEO, has been in the agency industry for over 30 years. So our niche is agencies. We are an agency that helps agencies. We do all sort of, experimentation on ourselves to see what works and what doesn't, and then we seek to pass along that knowledge to other agencies, both in our community and obviously to our clients. So that's who we serve.
Hey, I'll drop a brag point. You'd probably never bring it up, but when I studied this starting 20 years ago, I found that the leading university that understood this was in Cambridge, Massachusetts, a little place called Harvard,
Yeah.
and I got into the executive program through the back door. You probably went in through the front door, but we both studied this at Harvard and
Yep.
have been sharing some of those truths with other people. I
Yeah.
wanted to get to predictive ROI and how you make it rain. So a lot of pressure because you teach other people how to make it rain, and then
Yeah.
how do you make it rain? And I think, is it okay to say that you're a successful seven-figure agency?
It is indeed okay to say that. And that is an accurate description.
And
So
and you're up for partner, or you are a partner, or
I
uh,
am becoming a partner in actually a few short weeks. So in February of 26, I will be stepping into a partnership role alongside Stephen and Eric. So that's very exciting for me.
Mazel tov. Okay,
Thank
congrats.
you.
So let's talk about rainmaking at predictive ROI.
Yeah, so this is actually really easy to explain because the exact same strategies that we use for ourselves are the ones that we recommend to our clients. So what we have found is that a lot of times agencies rely on referrals, and that's kind of how they, build their business pipeline, or if they have a business pipeline, a lot of that revenue is coming from referrals. And our business model was always we don't want to live and die by referrals because that's like putting your biz dev strategy in the hands of someone else. So, one of the initiatives that we started, working towards a few years ago was really building this list of agencies who were our right fits. So we've got, some specific criteria. We know, the challenges that they're facing that we can solve really well. We know, the revenue that they're typically at once they hit those, ceilings and then start encountering those challenges. We know the mindset. So not just, some of the demographics, but some of the psychographics that go alongside that. So, we started using a variety of tech tools, LinkedIn, Sales Navigator, Apollo, like all kinds of stuff to essentially seek out these right fit agencies. And that's the same thing that we do for our clients. So we'll ask them, a very exhaustive list of what their right fit or ideal, customer looks like. And then we go and we prospect and we hand select those right fits. So the same thing that we do for ourselves, we also do for our clients. And then we've got a three-part model. So that was kind of grow. It's grow, nurture, and sell. So that was obviously, step one is growing the audience, having an audience that you can address and control versus, waiting for referrals to come your way. And they may come, a lot one month, and then the next several months it might be dry. So we wanted to kind of seek to own, an addressable audience. And then the second part of that is nurture. So obviously we believe that the best way to sell and build a community is to build trust. And the way that you do that is through thought leadership. So creating content, whether that's video or, something like this, whether that's podcasts, whether it's email, whether it's blogs. I mean, pick your platform. There's a variety of different kinds of content that you can make. And we want to do that in a helpful way. So we have a podcast, Sell with Authority, and we put out a variety of helpful content that is centered around what we know agencies are, challenged with. So that's kind of our nurture pillar of our methodology. And then lastly, of course, is sell. And one of the things that we have found and we have fallen into this trap before too, is that a lot of agencies don't have a structured sales process. So they may be, really great at talking with people or, they kind of, made a good pitch deck or whatever it may be, but they don't actually have a structured process in place that's repeatable and scalable. So we created what we call the trust architecture. It's a three-part system of how to lay sales structure and foundation so that you can show up with excellence every time, regardless of whatever external, factors are happening. So that's sort of our methodology, and that's what we do for ourselves, and that's what we do for our clients, and it works really well, and that's why we're in business, and that's how we make it rain. So did that answer your question?
Part of the DNA of Predictive ROI is generosity. So
Yes.
I know you're very generous in sharing this information um, through books. Stephen Wessner is co-author of Selling with Authority with Drew McClellan, and um, you do conferences, you do trainings. Anything coming up you wanted to share?
Yeah, we actually have an intensive coming up. So we typically do three intensives a year, Henry, as you know, because you've been a guest at many of them, and we've had a spotlight on you, and you're always a fantastic. You always interact and make the room better. So our next intensive is in February. It's actually February 18th. So that would be the next event that we have coming up that I would encourage everyone to attend because we've got some really great things. It's going to be biz dev focused, and it's going to be about capturing opportunities that are kind of right in front of you that you may be missing. So that's what the next intensive is going to be about on February 18th.
That's great. Anything else to add before we say goodbye?
Um, I think regardless of where you're at in your agency journey, if sales is feeling difficult or if you're relying on referrals, there's a better way. You can do it. So that's my last words of encouragement.
Hannah, I've known you for several years. You continue to blossom as an authority and expert. It's just so wonderful that you were here today. And
Thank
to
you.
everybody, until the next time, make it rain.